Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today, it is everyone's favorite time of month, Jubilee. Jubilee Blitz, to be specific. So, what we're going to do is we're going to split this up into two videos. We're going to do one for the normal battle, and then one for the boss battles. So the video's not like an hour long, right? I've gone through and I have done my grinding for now. Currently ranked 2. My scores are as follows. I know that based on some sweaty tryhards, I could greatly increase my my normal 3 score, but the other 2s I'm pretty much capped out on. So that's my normal scores, and then my boss scores are right here. I think I can definitely get higher on these. I think if I go an extra turn or just get more stacks. But we'll worry about the boss battles in the other video. So this video is focused only on normals. I'm going to take you through all 3 fights. I have 2 teams per each fight that you can test out. One using, the meta teams, and one using older, quote-unquote, teams. So without further ado, disclaimers. Your results may vary based on your boxes. Protection gauge units are going to be listed here. And then don't forget to optimize your magic buildings in town for whatever stage you're attempting to do. Now let's get to the video. Alright, so this is the first team that I use for Normal 1. It's my highest scoring team. We've got Hakurou and Gabiru here. Hakurou for the orb changing, obviously, the 40 points. Gabiru is here to boost my wind damage and my magic damage. And then Trainee is here for her orb change because we need either her or Frey on turn 1 to get a 6-card send of blues. Milim is here for her alt boost and surprisingly mainline DPS, as you will soon see. Rimuru is here for his attack boost, Diablo is here for his single target damage, and then the hero is here for hero stuff, rewind and crits. So this is the team that we use to get my highest score. We hit damage cap. And now the only thing holding me back, I think, is, I don't know what's holding me back, actually. Let's find out. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn on the video. And here we go. So again, turn 1, you need to either have Frey or Trainee for this orb change, because it's a special blue orb change that you need. So the mushrooms all have physical resistance up. So swords, forks, hammers won't do much damage, but Diablo and Milim will do good damage to the mushrooms. So right here, we've got the 6-card send to blues. So we're going to go ahead and send the 2 Rimurus first, and then Diablo, and then finish it up with Milim, because we do want to kill the mushroom here on turn 1. And Milim will do much more damage than my Diablo, because he's still only level 80. So turn 1, orb change, send a hand of blues, move on. Turn 2. Now, again, they both have physical resistances that go up before you start. And now, we're going to use Rimuru's attack boost here. And we got lucky because we only have 1 Rimuru orb. In a perfect world, you'd have like a 3 and 3 of Diablo and Milim, but, how often does that happen? So right here, again, Rimuru attack boost, and then Hakurou, so we can get 40 points and we get a full hand of oranges. And then we will swap out Rimuru for the hero, so we can use her rewind now that we have 43 points again. Now this ensures that we can send this full hand of oranges, we can get Diablo and Milim's ult, and when the rewind happens, we can hold on to the attack boost on Milim. That's going to be the important part. So we kill one mushroom, we do heavy damage to the other one, and now the rewind occurs. Milim and Diablo both have ults, that's great. Milim still has that 40% attack boost, which means that we can freely swap her with Trainee and hold on to that attack boost here. So that way on turn 3 we can bring her back, and then we can use some big time buffs on her. And we actually get interestingly lucky with hero orbs, because a lot of the times, a lot of the runs came up, and on turn 3 I had a bunch of hero, but turn 2.5 I have a bunch of hero. So we're going to use Diablo and Trainee's boosts here, because they both last for more than 1 turn, so I'm not afraid of using it. And then we're also going to use Hakurou here to give us more points, to give us another 6-card send for more points, And then we're going to send Diablo first and a whole bunch of hero because the Diablo's going to kill. Because he's double boosted, triple boosted technically. So, I don't care about hero orbs. I don't want to hit with her because that doesn't add to our weakness damage. So, Mushroom is dead from the one Diablo. 5 orbs of hero, get out of here, please don't give me any more. And then, here we go. And we didn't get any more. Perfect. So now we have 100 points and another Hakurou meter because of the hero's trait along with Guy that's attached to her. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and bring Wind Milim in for trainee. And remember, Wind Milim still has her attack boost from Rimuru, so she's got 40% attack. Now we can ult boost with Milim, and then we can use Hakurou to give us 40 points, change all those 2 greens to oranges, and then we have enough points to use the hero crit buff as well. So now, Wind Milim is triple boosted from Rimuru herself and hero. Diablo is quadruple boosted because he's got his own buff, Trainee's buff, the alt boost, and the crit buff. And then we also use Diablo's second skill to lower the defense of the middle mushroom. So I'm going through and checking stats, checking HP right here, just to see what we can send, because we have a good hand, right? We have 1 Milim, 2 Diablos. They're heavily boosted though, so I wasn't sure what was going to kill and what was not going to kill. So I end up spreading each orb and not sending the final hero ult, so I don't get that 200% boost, because that would kill any of these mushrooms, a 200% boosted orb. So we send 5 here. We spread it out. We send the Diablo on the middle mushroom that has a lower defense, and then we AoE with Milim to clean up the other 2 mushrooms. So here, I'm kind of just like, I'm praying, I'm thinking, what if I kill, what happens, like, great, this is gonna go because it's just my luck, but we might as well just send it. So, 1 orb, 2 orb, 150% orb right here, almost kills, so thank God we didn't send the hero ult after that. Diablo does 76k on the single, and Milim does 53k on her AoE ult, and that ends us with a total score of 51,414. Okay, so I do not have maximum weakness damage here, but my Diablo is only level 80. If he was level 100 or something higher, I'm sure that I could hit a higher number than that and get the maximum weakness damage score that I have seen is capped on this stage. But 51.4 is pretty good, and I'm pretty sure the cap is like 52.1 or something, so I'm not that far off, and I'm not too concerned, and I'm definitely not going to use shards on Diablo. So that's Team 1 for the normal one. Let's move on to Team 2. Okay, so this is the second team that I used for normal one. It's definitely not as good. It can still get the job done. Requires a tiny bit more RNG. Just a tiny, tiny bit. But I wanted to include a team that doesn't have Hakurou, that doesn't have Diablo and Trainee, so people who don't have them can at least run a team. It will take a couple tries, but you can run it. So we've got Cabby and Veldora being OG protectors. We've got Rimuru, Frey for the orb change that Trainee can do as well, Milim again, the hero, and then Hakurou for our single target DPS. So that is the team here, so let's go ahead and do this, and let's go find my run. And, alright, so I believe we start somewhere. Alright, so here we go. Orb change with Frey, turn 1. Oh, sorry, hold on. Let's move this down so you can see me. There we go. Alright, so we've orb changed with Frey, turn 1. 6 card send. We've swapped, Rimuru out for Hakurou. So now we're going to send 6 orbs again, 6 blues. Just like the first strategy. And now we're on to phase 2. And now we don't have Hakurou to orb change for us to take that RNG away. We have a crap ton of greens, which is terribly lucky. Like this team will take some RNG, because if you don't get greens, you're kind of not in a great position. If you have Hakurou, then use Hakurou. I beg you, please don't do this. This took me forever. All right, so we have used Cabby, we have used the rewind, and now we're going to send 5 greens here. This will get us Milim's ult, so good. That'll get us a bunch of points and another Cabby meter, and almost 2. Also good. But we need the Hakurou ult. Kind of important. Technically, we could just AoE with Milim, if you really wanted to and you didn't want to mess with it. You could just AoE all 3 mushrooms at the end of turn 3 with Milim. I'm sure it'll work just fine. But this is, this is if you want to do 2 AoE in a single. So right here, we're going to burn some cards, pray that we get more Hakurou orbs on turn 3. So this is not a 3-turn kill right here, obviously, because we can't do it. So right here, that's fine. All right, so here we can use Cabby again. We could use the 3. It doesn't get us his ult though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap Milim out and pull in that other blue orb for Hakurou and pray that that gets us his ult. Which, surprise, surprise, it doesn't. So, yay! We're still going to send it, though. At least it kills. So, now we're on turn 4, so we're already not looking that great. We need his ult. Ideally. So, right here, we're in an okay spot. But, I decide to screw it. And I'm just going to do it. We're just going to triple buff, like I said earlier. We've got the crit buff, we've got the ult buff, we've got the attack boost. I don't want to deal with that kind of RNG. We didn't get Hakurou, so we didn't get Hakurou. This will work fine. We're going to send 3 orbs here. We're going to lower them as much as possible. We're missing out on some weakness damage because we only have 1 Milim orb, but it's fine. And then we do the AoE with Milim, and we get a score. We get 56,000, so she hit just like she did the other time. But our final score now, instead of being 51, is 46. So, I mean, yeah, it's less. Is it still relatively close? Yeah. Can you live with that score if you're not trying to be a sweaty tryhard and you didn't summon on every single banner like I advise everyone not to? Yeah, I think it'll do just fine for most people. So, there's Normal Battle 1, 2 teams down. Let's move on to Normal Battle 2. Alright, so here is the team that I used for Normal 2. We've got Shizu, we've got Ramaris, we've got the Hero, we've got Daggerel for the Orb Steal. You need either Daggerel or Earth Bedimaru for the Orb Steal on Normal 2, and they need to be in this middle slot, because this middle slot gets a natural 4 cards. That way all you have to do is steal for 6 and then bring in Shion or your DPS or whoever it is, and you will have a 6-card send without having to swap in and out, and all that. Rimuru is here for his trait, and his ult, and a whole bunch of skills. He's here. Leon's here for the buff, and then Shion is here for DPS. So let's go ahead and find the video. Alright, and then go all the way back here, and... Alright, here we go. So we're going to Orb Steal Daggerel turn 1, so therefore you see that he had 4, now he has 6, because he's in that middle slot. We're going to bring Shion in for him, get a 6-card send with Daggerel, and then we're going to spread the damage out evenly. 2, 2, and 2. The 2 knights on the ends, left and right, have physical resistance, so they take less damage, and the middle mage has magic resistance, so you'll inherently do more damage to the mage than anyone else, so that's who you want to nuke with Shion at the very end on turn 3. So we're taking some damage here. Alright, so now what we can do is we can rewind, and we can use the pierce resistance down on the middle target, because that's who we're going to nuke with Shion. And then we're going to send her out of here. We've also used the orb change from Rimuru, so we can get those extra skill points. So now let's bring in Daggerel. And let's bring in Leon for Shion, so we don't lose anything out of that. So here we go, we've popped Shion, or Shizu, so many S's. And we're going to send 6 orbs again. Now we got to be kind of strategic on who we want to lower down, as much as possible. So we're going to do, I think we do in 3 and 3, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there we go. So 3, 3. So lowering, they take less damage, so it's easy. Even though we have Pierce on them, we're going to do less damage. Alright. And here the rewind happens. And now we have a fairly decent hand, and I can skip ahead here because it takes me a while to determine. But we end up sending just the 3. Just the 3 oranges. Because I don't want to kill, but I want to get them lower. And we have maximum points and we have a Shizu meter, so we're good for next turn. So there we go. We choose the 3. We're going to send it 1, 2, and then 3. Lower them down a bit. And now, it really doesn't matter what orbs we have here. We have an ult for Rimuru. That's totally fine. And now, we have 100 skill points. So we need to use the Leon buff. That's 55. And we need to use Shion. That's 25. So we pretty much can only use the Dagro buff. We've already used Rimuru, though, so that's fine. So we've got the light resistance down from Dagro. And now we're going to bring in Shion for Dagro. And now we will use the light buff and then the attack boost. And everything will be peachy. And now we can use Shizu, guaranteed pierce now, 105%. So that changes 3, which is actually perfect. So now what we need to do is we need to figure out how we're going to send these orbs here. So we want to make sure that we get, you know, the good hit with Shion, we get the ult with Shion, and we got the ult with Rimuru. So we've made it so we got 1, 2, doing damage. Nuked the third one for 108,000. We got 150% on this, which unfortunately guarded, otherwise we would have done more. And then Rimuru's going to clean up with his own ult for 32,000 on the left knight. So that gets us a final score of 49.6, which is not my highest, but it's still, again, respectable and not entirely sweaty. So if you have this team, you can definitely do that. You could even do it better. There are other strategies that I've seen that can get higher scores with max weakness damage and all that, but I didn't record that, so... This is the team right here. That is the strategy. So let's move on to the alternative, which is much less fun. Well, it's okay. Alright, this is the second team that you can use for normal 2. No Shizu, but Hakurou, you know, for still very powerful orb changing. No Pierce, but we get 40 skill points, we get a whole bunch of oranges. But we're not going to use anyone from the newest light meta. We've got Leon, we've got Earth Benny for the Orb Steel, Wind Milim, Hero, and Gazel for our mainline DPS. So we are missing out on a little bit of his protection trait from the beginning, but we need to bring him in for the Orb Steel after we're done that with Benimaru. So this is the team that we're going to run here. I believe the score gets actually kind of close to what the first team did, so it's not a bad team in any way, shape, or form. But let's go ahead and start that video here, and then we'll go ahead and do this. So we're going to Orb Steal with Earth Benimaru, turn 1, steal the Leon orbs, and then we're going to bring Gazel in, and then we're going to do 1 orb, and then 5 orbs. Now I think I do a different strategy here, which you can definitely adopt for the other stage. Again, you can't see my face, so let's do that. Alright. So we got him, you know, relatively low. He can take like a couple more hits. Not good hits, but a hit maybe. So here, we have Hakurou, so we're not going to hurt for points, right? So we're going to use the Leon light boost, and then we're going to swap Gazel out of here for the Hero. So we can retain that for next turn. We're going to use Hakurou, get a 6-card send, get a whole bunch of oranges, and then we're going to use the rewind here, and then we're going to spread the damage out again. Now, unfortunately, we only have 2 orbs for Leon, so we're not going to get his ult, and we're not going to do a whole lot of weakness damage. We send 2 hero orbs there on the middle person. Thankfully, he doesn't die. Spread the rest out, do that last 200% orb on the right, get him down a decent amount. The rewind kicks in, and now it's still not great, but at least we can get a decent amount of points. We can't get his ult, which is fine, but we can get almost 100 points. Almost. We just have to make sure we're hitting the right target. So, pop, 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 and then the last Leon hit will again go to the right knight. So there we go. We have 99 skill points with the traits from the Hero, Guy, and Milim, or Hero and Rimuru. We have another Hakurou meter, so we've got plenty of points to use now. So here, what we can do is we can use the Windmill Alt boost, and then we can get her out of here for Gazel. He has 2 orbs now, which is great. And now, let's go ahead and use Hakurou again, and this will give us enough points to use the hero boost, and then Gazel's first skill, which is his attack boost. So now, we can nuke the middle mage, since he's weak to magic, and then we can spread the rest of the orbs out onto the other knights. So we're going to spread the damage out first, actually, and hopefully not kill anyone, and these last 2 hits will hopefully kill those knights, and then the ult will finish up. So let's see how that works. So yep. Alright, first knight's down from normal. This 200% hit again gets guarded because God hates me. And now we ult and we hit 114,000 right there. So a little bit making up for the weakness damage we're not getting from not hitting people with light units, but there is the score. 48-2. It's like 1,000 and change less than the first team. Definitely can work. There is a strategy using the first team where you boost with Leon and swap Shion out and then do all that. I think that's what the Sweaty Tryhards did for their maximum scores, but I mean, either way works. 48,000. I think the cap is like 52 again, wherever I'm at, so you're not missing too many points, really. So this will definitely get the job done. So that's the alternate team for Normal 2. Let's move on to Normal 3 now. Alright, for the final fight, this is the team that I am using for the first run. It is the new water team. So we've got Milim, we've got Rimuru, we've got Shuna, we've got Alice for her orb change because we need that turn 1. And then we've got Shion for the double support, and then my Velzard for DPS. Now, if you have all these units, then congratulations. Your score will be... It can be good depending on how many stacks of Milim you can get. And if you get very lucky with blues, you can get quite a few stacks with Milim. So raise that water attack up. And if your Velzard is much better than my Noodle, then you will also get a better score than me. So I think this gameplay was recorded earlier on, and I did get a higher score. It's literally just getting stacks of Milim though. Like, the strategy is the same. You get Velzard with her buff, Frostbite, Shion's buffs, Windmill's buff, or Water Shuna's buff, Alice's Pierce. Like, you give Velzard everything and as many stacks of Milim as you can get. So that's the whole strategy. Going to turn 6, because that's when the defense and guard drop off. So you have 6 turns to stack as many things as you can. The only thing hampering this team is that you don't have the heroes rewind, so you don't get a free turn out of this. But, you know, with you making blues, you stealing, and you changing all of your orbs to blue, it works pretty well. So let's just get into the gameplay here. I think I had to do this a lot, so... Alright. Right? Hold on, let me find it. Nope. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, got it. There's a lot of gameplay. I just record big sections, and I just gotta find it. Alright, so turn 1, we have an orb change, 2 blue to 2 green, so that's what Alice is for. So 2 blue to 2 green. We're going to go ahead and bring Velzard in. Velzard in for Rimuru, since we have a Rimuru orb coming next turn. We're also going to bring Shion in, because every 2 turns she gives us protection gauge, which is what we need. So we're going to full send the 6. This will get us starting off with a Milim stack, so good. Guarding is fine, I don't really care. Sometimes the spider does guard and sometimes he doesn't, and when he doesn't, you do a lot of damage. So, alright. So let's get a stack of Milim going. And this entire stage is pretty much playing around with how can I get more blues? Like, what can I do to bring Rimuru in to change everything that he can have to blues and then do one orb change with somebody else? So that's the entire, like, thought process of this fight. So right here, we're just going to send the Velzard orbs because I want the ult or not. We're going to... What are we going to do here? We're going to orb change. Alright. Alright, and then we're going to bring Rimuru in for probably Shuna. Yep. And we're going to orb change there too. So there we go. 6-handed blues. What did I say? Doing our best to get blues. We have 6 turns, so like not getting Velzard's ult turn 1 is not the end of the world, or turn 2. Getting more blues is what's more important. Getting more stacks of Milim is what is more important for this stage. Alright, so what... Sorry, my cat's losing his mind. Alright, so there's a Milim stack. Alright. So, orbs don't look that great right now. Let's see, okay, so I just send the oranges. I could have swapped Rimuru out, brought him back in next turn, and then changed all of his to blue. That would have been a better play, probably, but I guess I wanted Velzard's ult. So now, let's go ahead and use her attack boost, and then send her away, and we'll bring her back in whenever we need to stack with Milim. Sorry. And then we will continue on. So there's another hand of blues right here. So again, we got a double stack of Milim now. Looking pretty good. We're only on turn 4, so we have, you know, at least one more turn to get at least one more stack if possible. And we got a pretty good hand right here. So let's go ahead and bring Velzard in, probably for Shuna, or probably for Shion, one of the two. Oh, we're going to orb change with Rimuru first. That one green, okay. And then we're going to bring Velzard in for Rimuru. And then we're going to use Shuna's orb change for that extra orange that comes in, huh? Oh, yeah, there we go. Alright, so we got 2 stack of Milim coming up. And then we'll get another stack, or another orb change here with Shuna. We will also apply the Frostbite because that lasts for 2 turns. So we can apply it now, not have to worry about those points later on. And then I do something kind of dumb. I thought there would be another blue behind that ult, but guess not. We're just going to send it. We have enough points, so it's whatever. Couldn't get another stack of Milim. We probably could have had I orb changed, but it's okay. And now we have 228 points. We're on turn 6. All the defensive buffs on the spider are gone. Only the frostbite remains. So we have ult boosted now. Applied the water resistance. We've brought Velzard in. And now we will use both the Shion buffs and the Alice buff. And then we shall nuke. We shall do, I think, 1 attack here. Maybe 2 attacks. I think 1. I think 1 Velzard. We'll let him live. Yeah, we're checking attack stats right now to see who's going to hit harder. We could send 2 Alice, we could send 1 Velzard. I think I end up sending 2 Alice instead. Or I just send the 1 Alice, okay. Alright, which is probably best, because 2 Alices probably would have killed. And then Velzard hits 137,000, and that gives us a final score of 50.6. Now this score will definitely vary based on how many stacks of Milim you can get in 6 turns. Like, I have seen someone with 64,000. I think personally I'm now at like 54 or something like that. So, you know, the more stacks of Milim you can get, the better. But that is the new water meta team. Let's move on to the old water team. Alright. Ooh, hold on, can't see me again. This is the last team that we will be using. This is Normal Battle 3 still, with not Shuna, Shion, or Milim in the group. So we've got Chloe, Carrion, Raphael, Alice, Hero, and then Velzard. So really, it's the same strategy, you know, build up Velzard's ult, nuke on turn 6. You don't have as many buffs to use. We have an ult boost already from Chloe, 40%. Carrion gives 20% crit damage. We can defense lower with Raphael, the pierce, the crit with the hero, and then the attack boost and pierce power with Velzard. So we still have buffs. It's just, you definitely won't hit as hard because you're not stacking up water damage with Milim every turn. So let's go ahead and begin this section of the video, and we will go all the way to the end, and then we'll go back here. Alright, so again, right here, turn 1, we're going to orb change with Alice, get a 6-card send of greens. It is harder to get points on this team because, unfortunately, these greens, you know, they don't give you as much as those sweet 500% orbs that Milim does. But, I mean, if you can work around it, then you can work around it, right? So, guarding, that's fine. Again, we want to build Velzard's ult. Thankfully, we get a good hand here with just blues again, so we're just going to use Alice again. Orb change. We don't need to use Chloe at all. So, another Alice. Another 6-card send of greens. Only one Velzard orb this time, which is unfortunate, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. The only thing is that we didn't raise our skill cap, so a lot of those points went to waste. Like, most of those points went to waste. It is what it is, though. I can't be using skills now. We still have, 4 more turns. So now, here we go. We'll change them again with Alice, and then we'll use Chloe to change those last 2 oranges, get another 6-card send of greens. This time, we actually have an increase in the cap, so we're now at 112 points, and we have another Chloe. So, hoping that next turn I don't have to use Alice to orb change. It'd be really nice. And lo and behold, we don't. So, we've got 2 oranges, we got 2 ults, so we might as well use them and get those out of here. So, let's use Chloe, get another 6-card send, 4 more greens, 2 ults with units I don't care about. This will get us Velzard's ult, though, so that's important. And then we can use her attack boost and send her away for another 2 turns. Okay. The alts do decent damage, but then the normals don't, especially if he guards, so I wasn't really in danger of killing, especially when we do 1 damage. Alright, so here, not the best hand, but it is what it is. We will use Velzard's attack boost and Frostbite since we're on turn 5, and then we will send her away. We'll send her away for the hero, and then we can rewind. Alright, so, rewind. This will give us boost to our protection gauge, so now we can send these 2 blues, and then on the rewind we can use Chloe again and pray that we get a 6-card send of greens, and then we'll have enough points to use everything, which I believe we do. Yes, we do. Alright, look at that. And the ult boost from Chloe will affect, it's for, 2 turns or something, so it will affect Velzard's ult that's hanging around in the back, so I don't have to worry about it. So we're going to use this, get as many points as possible. We should have enough to use everything after this. Just about, I think. Yeah, because we just need the crit, the pierce, and the defense down. Because we've already used Velzard's stuff. So yeah, I think we're ready to go then. Alright. So, defense down. That skill is not maxed out. I don't use Raphael much. Alright. Let's get Raphael out of here, though, for Velzard, and then we will apply the crit and the pierce. Frostbite and Velzard's attack boost is already active, so we don't need to worry about that. And now we've got, defense down, water resistance down, crit resistance down on the spider. We've got pierce, attack, all that. We can bring in Carrion for his crit boost. Didn't use his orb change at all because it wasn't working. We want greens, not blues. So now we have to decide what we're going to send here, and we send 1 Alice, which is perfect. And then we ult with Velzard for 75k, so definitely not 130 like we did with Milim, but I still get, a semi-okay score out of this. What do we get? 42, so 8,000 less, but again, you're missing those big-time stacks with Water Milim, 30, 40, 50, 60% extra water damage. Makes a huge... Jesus Christ. Makes a huge difference. My cat is going AWOL today. So, there we go. That's all the normal battles. We have 2 teams per battle, per fight. Tomorrow I will put out the strategies for the boss fight. Spoiler alert, all you do is stack, either with the water team or space team, so hopefully you have one of those. But let me know if these teams helped you out. Again, you can bastardize them and take units and do whatever. If you have meta units that I didn't include, you can definitely alter these teams. But let me know if they helped you down in the comments below. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.